Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to see Tine and the Faraway Mountain. Okay, so before starting the lesson, let us see about the author. Here you can see author Shikha Tripathi is one of India's most well-known travel writers. She spent most of her childhood in Windsor and writes about her travels to little known places, the adventures and she has had and the people she meets there. So here Shikha Tripathi, she was a most famous travel writer. She has written so many things related traveling only. Okay, and she was doing this work, writing work as well as the traveling work from the beginning. Now here you can see in Ichali in the Mishmil Hills of Arunachal Pradesh, young Tine Mena heard a wondrous call from the mountains in the distance. She was drawn to it, a sound only she could hear. She heard it while she climbed trees. She heard it when she ran through the jungle. She heard it when she spent long days laying under the sun. Woo shoo. The sound went woo shoo. So, Tine would smile. What a wonderful life. But one day her family moved out of Italy to the closest big town Rowing. Tine's world turned upside down. There was a school in Rowing, but the woo-shoo had been louder in Italy. Tine wanted to return to her mountains again. So she trudged to school every day for 10 years, glancing wistfully at the mountains in the horizon. When she finally finished her schooling, Tina immediately applied to be a porter for army expeditions in the mountains. She would have to carry heavy loads and march over long distance. So here what happened, here you can see this is Arunachal Pradesh. No, the corner of the India, eastern. After this there is a China. No. So that's why here we are talking about Tine who was living in Italy. And where is Italy? Italy is in Mishmi Hills. And where is Mishmi Hills? Mishmi Hills in Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, so story belongs from this place. So it means this place is coming under the Everest. No? So here what happened? She used to heard one sound. What sound was that? That was woo shoo. When she was hearing this sound, whenever she was climbing a tree, moving across the jungle, running, that time she used to heard this sound woo shoo. and she was, whenever she heard this sound, she smiled, and she was thinking, what a wonderful life. But what happened one day when she moved to come to her home, she came to know that what her family moved from Italy to Rowing. So here you can see. So it means now they are coming from up to little bit down, and this Rowing is a big city. Italy is a small village. Okay, so that's why all want to reside in a city only. So that's why her parents also reached in Rowing, and there now she was going to school. And here what happened, that the sound was very less. What she heard in Italy, the sound was louder. Woo shoo. Okay, so anyhow, she don't wanted to live in Rowing. She wanted to turn back to Italy only, but it possible? It cannot be possible. No, no, because her parents are living here only, in Rowing only. So that's why she also used to live here only. So anyhow, she has completed her schooling, and now from the beginning only she was interested in mountains only. No, no, she heard the sound also. So what she has done, as soon as she has completed, finished her schooling, Tina immediately applied to be a porter for army expedition. So here what she has done, she has applied for a army porter for army expedition. Porter means the person, those who are carrying the luggage and other heavy loads. So why here for army, why they required the porters for army? So you can see here Arunachal Pradesh. After Arunachal, China is there. No, no, so every time this is the border between India and China. So it means here always require army. No, no, so for army only here. And from where army came? From where army came? Army came from everywhere. No, all over the India, from anywhere. No, no, so that's why what happened, whenever there is a transfer system or shifting system, that time the army, they used to come and go. So that's why here porters required to carry their luggage. Okay, so she also joined this army. But what happened here, on those days women were not allowed to be porter in those days. Okay, so here now you can see in the army, Tine worked on many expeditions and soon became a coordinator. It was on one of her expeditions as a coordinator that she met Dr. Romeo Mattei. At that time, Dr. Mattei was working to promote adventure sport in Arunachal Pradesh and immediately identified Tine's talent. You are naturally gifted climber, he told her. You have the strength and the determination. Now all you need to techniques. Dr. Mate became Tine's mentor and she began her training as a mountain climber. The distant mountain is still called her, but Tine did not know the name of the distant mountain till she watched the race of for Everest, a film about the first climb of Mountain Everest. Wushu became a roar now, and climbing Mount Everest became her dream. After months of preparation, Tine finally reached the Everest base camp in Nepal. It was bitterly cold and the air was thin. Tine trained there for a few days to get accustomed to the harsh weather and then began her climb. So here you can see that she was working as a porter for army. Here we have seen about her. No, now she become a coordinator, and when she was a coordinator she met Dr. Romeo Matthew. He was adventure sports. Okay, so minister you can say, or you can say that he was working for that only. So when he met to Tine, he immediately came to know that the Tine was so talented and naturally gifted. Okay, so he came to know she was having strength, determination. Only she required few techniques. So now he become his mentor. Mentor means his coach, his guide. Okay, and now he is giving start giving training to her, and still that mountains called her Wushu, but she was not knowing that mountain name, and until she has not watched the movie The Race for Everest. Okay, so when she watched this movie, then only she came to know that the mount name is, that mountain name is Everest. Okay, so now after months of preparation, she reached in base camp. Where was the base camp? Base camp was in Nepal. So you can see the Nepal is here. She was living here, working over here. Now after a training under with the Dr. Matei, now she reached over here in base camp, and here also now she need to get a training because it was bitterly cold and the air was thin. So here to reach up to the mountain, what they have done, they have made there is a 4 section. Okay, 4 section. So while moving from base camp to Mount Everest, to the top of the Mount Everest, they need to take rest in 4 places. Okay, so when the other troops reached in base camp, meanwhile what happened here, Tine along with her companion name is Chering Sherpa, they reached second camp. Okay, the weather had grown worse. When you see, when they reached here, the weather was very worse. So now they reached here. Here is 2. No, the condition of weather worse. So here now they reached on second camp. Here now the Chering asked her that do you want to continue or want to stop here. Then she said that I don't think I will get another chance to do this. Tine replied she could hear the musical whooshu growing louder and louder. It almost hypnotized her. Tine and Chering somehow managed to reach their final camp. Now what happened, as from the base camp they have decided there is 4 sections to reach up to the mountain. Anyhow now they reached their final camp. Okay, the final, and here the stormy wind blew their tent and supplied away. When they reached over here, what happened? Because of the stormy wind, everything was away. Now they borrowed the tent from someone, because here is also the Sherpas, they were living over here, no? So they borrowed someone's tent, then they spent their night. Okay, so here the next day, the Tine and Cheering had was a packet of noodles. They have one packet of noodles. Let's share half of it. Cheering suggested. So Cheering said, let's have and share it. Then Tine, what she has done, she nodded her head and smiling determinedly, if we make it alive, we will eat the other half. So what she said, if we came alive from after putting the map on the top, then only half of the packet I can have it. Okay, so the higher they climbed, the stronger the wind grew. For every 2 steps they took, it sent them reeling back a step. So what happened when they are moving upwards? So when they are taking 2 steps, okay, so after every 2 steps, what happened? The stormy wind sent them back a step. 2 स्टेप आगे बढ़ते थे और 1 स्टेप फिर से पीछे हो जाते थे, फिर 2 स्टेप आगे बढ़ते थे, फिर से 1 स्टेप पीछे हो जाते थे, क्योंकि इतनी तेज ठंडी हवाएं थी. ओके, सो हियर इट shook and hauled, whispering dread into their ears and urging them to return. What these winds are urging them in their ears, that to return back, to go back, no need to go upside. But here Tine could only hear the magical tune of Bushu, but Tine was hearing only one sound, that is known as a woo-shoo. So they pushed ahead fearlessly and continued to climb to the top. So because of that musical voice woo-shoo, she become hypnotized and she was moving, okay, ahead. Finally, at 10:45 a.m. on 9th May 2011, Tine's efforts were rewarded. She summited Mount Everest. So here finally what happened on 9th May 2011, she climbed up top of the Everest, okay, and she summited Mount Everest, the highest mountain in the world, the first women from the northeast of India, okay, the first women from northeast of India. So from here she reached up to Mount Everest. Okay, so now she came to know from where that sound is coming. She had found her far away mountain and was one with the sound that had called her all her life. Finally, now she came to know from where this woo-shoo sound is coming. So this is all about Tine and the faraway mountains. Okay, so thank you. Have a nice day.